dawn in Davos, and reading the smoke signals depends very much on who you are. The closest thing Europe has to a spokesperson, Ursula von der Leyen, down the road in Strasbourg this morning, warning President Trump that more bombastic talk on Greenland would be given short shrift.
We now live in a world defined by raw power, whether economic or military, technological or geopolitical. And while many of us may not like it, we must deal with the world as it is now.
From Paris to Brussels to Copenhagen, the clock is ticking in European capitals. The future of Greenland, a proxy for a great reset with the USA. Trade, security, the very future of Nato. But what exactly can erstwhile allies, Europe and indeed Canada, do to manage Trump's belligerent America First agenda and take control of their own futures? Sweden, NATO's newest member, said it refused to be blackmailed by more tariff threats.
Well, we are responding in a very sincere and serious way. We would like to come back to serious talks on how we cooperate even closer. But Denmark needs to have the lead on those discussions because this is Danish territory. So let's see what happens today.
Overnight, high on the mountainside, a message to the delayed US president. An electrical fault on Air Force One, forcing him to change planes, but not, it would seem, direction. Although, in typical estate agent style, talking up what he claims might happen next as a good deal for everyone.
If a consequence of your determination to take control of Greenland is the ultimate breakup of the NATO alliance, is that a price you're willing to pay?
You mean the breakup of it's very
the
interesting
NATO
question.
alliance?
So I think something's going to happen that's going to be very good for everybody. Nobody's done more for NATO than I have, as I said before. I think that we will work something out where NATO is going to be very happy and where we're going to be very happy. But we need it for security purposes. We need it for national security and even world security. It's very important. How about it?
Diplomacy is, of course, littered with blunders and misinterpretations. Historians already waxing about how exactly Europe and the US apparently misread each other so badly over what was meant to be a reassuring deployment of troops to Greenland. These German soldiers and a French-Danish airborne refueling exercise seen by Washington as a threat, unless the outrage is itself just part of the Trump show.
We're not putting a 10% tariff on Greenland. We're putting a 10% tariff on the 8 countries that chose to send troops to Greenland. I mean, for those countries to activate their troops, I'm not sure what signal that's supposed to send. It seems pretty quixotic to me.
US Trade Secretary Scott Bessent urging Davos to just wait and see what the president actually has to say when he gets here. The stage would appear to be set, lights and cameras ready. We are just waiting for the action. It may well be a chilly reception, but it is textbook Trump. And in the meantime, leaders, advisors and finance ministers are dealing with their own domestic challenges. In the UK, higher than expected inflation figures.
First off, inflation is ticked up to 3.4%. It's higher than some analysts thought. It's higher than you would have hoped. What's going to happen to inflation when the economy is slapped with 10% tariffs by President Trump?
Well, the Bank of England expected inflation to tick up a little bit this month, but they are also forecasting that inflation will return to the 2% target in the late spring or early summer. And that's because of the measures that I took in my budget last year to take £150 on average off of people's energy bills from April, to freeze prescription charges for the second year in a row, and to freeze rail fares for the first time in 30 years. And on the subject of trade barriers, well, other countries are increasing trade barriers. In Britain, we are reducing them. But we secured last year the first and the best trade deal with the US. And as the Secretary...
and now they're threatening 10% tariffs on us. So you must have done some modelling. How bad would that be for the economy?
Look, I do not accept that tariffs need to go up. And the Commerce Secretary...
He's going to slap them with us whether we want them to or not.
Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, when I saw him yesterday and in public in a panel yesterday, said that there was no reason why the trade deals that he has secured with the UK and others should be undone.
OK, but if we come 1st of February, if all of a sudden we are slapped with a 10% tariffs, will you step in, will you offer financial support to UK businesses that suffer because of that?
We're not going to be buffeted around by global events, and I'm not going to give answers on hypotheticals, but look at our record. We stepped in and backed Jaguar Land Rover last year when they were impacted by the cyber attack. We got that trade deal with the US because we wanted to protect and promote growth and prosperity in our car manufacturing sector. So we are always backing British business, and I'm here this week in Davos with great entrepreneurs and great British businesses. They are really positive about the year ahead and positive about what this government is doing to bring in talent, to bring trade and bring investment to Britain. And frankly, I am sick and tired of people speaking Britain down, because the businesses that I've
speaking Britain down is the President of the United States. He went on Truth Social yesterday and was doing nothing but speaking Britain down and threatening 10% tariffs.
Well, I'm with the British businesses who are confident about the year ahead, who are excited about the opportunities in Britain, whether that is in AI or tech, in financial services, in our creative industries.
OK, so far you have taken a softly approach to Donald Trump. Some have called it appeasement. Are there any circumstances, yes or no, in which you might decide enough is enough, we need to retaliate, we will consider our own tariffs?
Well, we will always act in our national interest, but it is in our national interest to reduce trade barriers and not to up the rhetoric and up the ante. So we will work always with our businesses and in the interest of working people in Britain to bring barriers down, not to up the rhetoric to get a cheap headline.
So, yeah, but that sounds like no, Donald Trump can threaten whatever he wants. He might impose any tariffs he wants, and you're just going to sit back and say, no, this is our approach, we're sticking to it.
Well, judge us on our record. Last year, we secured the first and the best trade deal with the US, whilst at the same time getting trade deals with India, Korea, and also improving our trade relations with our nearest neighbours and trading partners in the EU.
There are some even within your own party, who would say this is a Labour leadership that can't even stand up to their backbenchers and will U-turn at the drop of a hat. So there's no chance of them standing up to Donald Trump.
Well, look at our record and look what we achieved.
We haven't looked at your record, a record of many U-turns.
Look at our record on trade deals. Around the world, we are securing deals that are bringing investment to Britain, bringing new export opportunities to British businesses.
But all in, it sounds like no matter what Donald Trump threatens, no matter what he says and may impose, you're not going to change your position, you're not going to threaten anything in return. You sound quite powerless.
Well, look at our record and what we achieved last year. And our approach secured the best and the first trade deal with the US. That sounds like the right approach, the approach that's in our national interest. We've managed to secure things on trade that other countries have not.
And is that still the case if Donald Trump sends US military boots onto the soil of Greenland?
Well, we've been really clear that the future for Greenland is up to the people of Greenland and the Kingdom of Denmark. We've been very clear about that in partnership with our European colleagues from Denmark to France to Germany, and we will continue to stand alongside our NATO allies, including Denmark. But I think the right approach here is to negotiate and to talk and not to up the ante and up the rhetoric. This will be resolved through diplomacy and talking, and we are a key partner, of course, in doing that.
Chancellor Rachel Reeves, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.